In the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a famous alchemist Uberto Fulcanelli. In 1536, after escaping from the Inquisition orders, he disembarked in Veracruz, Mexico. There he appointed as an official watchmaker to the viceroy. Fulcanelli was working on a strange invention which would provide him the key to eternal life. He invents the device and named it the cronos. He hides it under the base of an archangel statue. Then the scene changes to 400 years later. One night in the year 1937, a part of the vault in a building collapsed and killed many people. Among the victims there was a man of strange skin. His chest was mortally pierced and announced his last words a suo temper. This was the alchemist who died. Later it's revealed that he had already succeeded in his invention. The authorities found his residence and whatever they got from there was never fully showed to the public. After a brief investigation, his mansion and expensive contents were sold at public auction. But no one knows about the Cronos device. The scene changes to 1996 and we see the Archangel statue place in an antique shop. This shop is run by an old man, Jesus Gree. He and his granddaughter Aurora break the statue and find the mysterious device. Then we are introduced to an old dying millionaire de la Guardia. He is afraid of his death and always remain worried. He wants to be eternal, so he always keep himself in an antiseptic chamber. He knows about the Eternity device and has spent his life finding the old archangel to get the Cronos. When he learns that the statue is kept in Jesus' shop, he sends his nephew Angel to buy the statue. But he is unaware that Jesus already take the device out of the statue. When he leaves, Jesus holds the device in his hand and accidentally activates it. At first it doesn't react, but suddenly 6 weird legs come out of it and cling to his hand. The device digs into his palm and makes a big wound. Then he returns home and his girlfriend Mercedes cleans his wounds. She pulls out a metal stinger from his hand. In the night he doesn't feel good and decides to drink cold water from fridge. Suddenly he feels an attraction to the bright red meat. He grabs the device and touch it again. Just then a 4th sting comes out of its backside. In the morning, he gets a clean shave and looks much younger to his age. But he ignores it and tells Mercedes that he looks different as he shaved his mustache. Throughout the day he feels more energetic and doesn't think of device. Later, Guardia's men break into his shop and destroy all things in search of Cronos. Seeing this, Jesus gets anger and goes to Guardia location to revenge. But both of them end up for a talk about the device. Guardia shows a manuscript to him written by Fulcanelli in which he had written about the Eternity device. He tells Jesus that he is dying because of his illness and no treatment has worked well. He says the Cronos device is the only hope for him. He reveals that there is an insect inside the device. While talking, Guardia notices a bandage on his hand and realizes that he has already activated the device on himself. But Jesus speaks lie to him and runs away from there. When he returns his home, he doesn't find the device. He suspects Aurora and goes to the rooftop to check. He finds the girl had picked up the device to play with it. But she gets scared to see his grandfather in his new appearance. Jesus calms her down and takes the Cronos placed in her teddy. In the following scene, he uses the Cronos on his chest and still inspecting about the mechanism of the device. In the next few days he continuously uses the Cronos on him and it makes him more energetic and younger. One day, his girlfriend plans to attend the New Year party. She doubts on Jesus' quick transformation. Later she dances with him romantically at the party. Suddenly, a man gets hurt in the crowd and starts bleeding. Jesus gets attracted to his blood and follows the man to the washroom. He smells his blood and can't stop himself from looking at his spilled drops. Here it's revealed that the device makes a person thirsty for human blood as a vampire. He licks the man's blood in the washroom and gets caught by Angel. He knocks him down with his kick. Later, Jesus finds himself in Angel's car and gets badly beaten by him. He asks him to hand over the Cronos. When he refuses, Angel gets furious and pushes him off a cliff. The next day, Mercedes feels heartbroken by his boyfriend's death and somehow arranges his funeral. When Guardia learns about Jesus' death, he gets angry and beats Angel with his stick. Later he sends him to the funeral to find out if he is really dead. He comes close to Jesus and tries to wake him up by closing his nostrils. When he fully convinced, he decides to leave. Then the mortuary technician starts the crematorium to burn the coffin. But he struggles with the gasoline as the all tubes gets blocked. He leaves the room and decides to solve the problem. Just then the dead man comes to life and escapes from the place. The worker is unaware that he burns the empty coffin. Jesus realizes that the device gives immortality to humans. He finds his skin starts peeling off. It exposes a strange layer of skin like color of moonlight and marble. In the following scene, on a cold night he walks outside being confused with a gray wounded face. He stops near a rubbish bin and finds his own printed death news. He feels devastated to see it and tries to phone his girlfriend. But then he thinks maybe it's prank and cut the call. Later he returns home and finds it decorated with Christmas lights. He is welcomed by his granddaughter. Jesus feels too weak and tired, so he decides to use the device once again. He gets the energy from it and learns the deadly side effects of the cronos. He finds the daylight is too dangerous for his skin. So he has to sleep in an old trunk, and Aurora decides to take care of him. After some days, he writes a long letter to his girlfriend. He asks her that he just wants her to know that her man is still alive. He tells her that he has been stuck in some serious matter and wants to solve it. He writes her if he has forgotten something to ask, he would like to know it. He says he hopes she will be happy to see him alive despite his appearance. After this he goes to Guardia house and Aurora follows him quietly all the way. He tries to get her away but she refuses to leave. Then the duo look around the house to get more information about the Cronos device. Luckily Aurora finds a mysterious book written by its creator Fulcanelli. Jesus opens the book and goes through it. He finds that some pages are missing about the invention. By this time, his body has turned white as if he doesn't have any blood in his veins. Guardia comes there and tells him that he has eaten the missing pages. Suddenly he starts taking off his strange skin from his face. He distracts Jesus with his conversation and rings the bell for his nephew. Angel gets angry at being disturbed by his uncle and heads to his warehouse. Guardia tells Jesus that he needs the device to keep himself alive. He says he must drink human blood to save himself. Then Jesus takes the device out and shows him. He asks Guardia to help him to get out of this magic. He is unfazed by the emotions and attacks Jesus to get his heart. But Aurora becomes alert and hits him with a long stick. She knocks him out and helps his grandfather to get up. Jesus smells Guardia's blood and sucks it to fulfill his hunger. Suddenly, Angels comes there and the duo tries to hide. When he finds Guardia is dead, he starts laughing on him. He says now he will get all his uncle's property. But suddenly, Guardia becomes conscious and asks him for help. Angel gets scared and decides to kill him as he is tired of his orders. When he is celebrating the victory, Jesus attacks him from behind and runs away with Aurora. They run to the rooftop and Angel follows them. He eventually blocks their way and Jesus asks Aurora to run fast. He decides to talk with Angel. But before he say a word, Angel starts beating him with a metal rod. Jesus finds hard to get up and Angel decides to kill the girl. But Jesus stands up and starts laughing on him. Just then he throws himself at his body, making them both fall to the ground. In the following scene, it's revealed that Angel didn't survive the fall and Aurora sets the mechanism to revive her grandfather. She offers her blood to him but somehow Jesus manages to control himself. Then he removes the device from his chest and breaks it with a big stone. The story ends as he returns back to his old trunk. Mercedes decides to take care of him. Jesus says he will wait until his immortality ends so that he can escape from his misery forever. Make sure you have subscribed and turn on all notifications, so you can watch more movies like this.